Look at that, Snoop. Just for you. Not to get all the little treasures there into the vitro. 2020 YouTube Hall of Fame. A lot of the old cats. A lot of guys I am still very good friends with. Don't want to do it. That's fine. I look at it in two ways. I could be 100% wrong. That's fine. I've always been wrong before in a lot of my thinking, where my mind goes. But they had the wherewithal. Mike, a baseball collector, had the wherewithal to actually put this thing together. Actually make it I won't say tangible, but it's a tangible thing. Back in our day, we didn't. That's fine. Do a lot of us that are back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, do we need something to feel the validity of what we've done over the years, that the friendships we've forged, the bonds we've strengthened and made? No. I don't think the new guys do either. But at the same time, a lot of the older sect, I believe, just is in that mental mind state of the get off my lawn. That's how I usually am anyway. But we don't all have to agree on everything. If we did, the community would fucking suck. It'd be boring. Support is great for everyone. Branching out from your comfort zone, something everybody should try once in a while. Like I've said in a couple, 3-4 videos ago, you keep yourself in your one little bubble, you are missing out on a whole fucking world of amazement. Not only trading card, collectible, knowledge-wise, but just from people. And that's you hope this does, but there always seems to be certain groups out there of people that flock towards each other, which again, it's fine. You're gonna like what you like. Not all of a sudden you're gonna have some button that turns on or a switch that you flip and I really like 90s inserts now. Oh man, I really like pre-war stuff instead. Why the fuck am I collecting tops traded rookies of Tatis and Max Scherzer and Bryce Harper? Why am I doing that? I wanted a Cap Anson. What the hell? But it's good to check out some of these other channels. I watched fucking way too many of these goddamn videos. Way too many. I like that some more of the old guys are getting a little pub. I'll say it. I'll say it until I expire, which I'm sure a lot of people would hope is soon, because I'm just a fucking dink. But the 1 year thing is absolute trash. I hate that. Again, I know it's Mike's criteria. We gotta live with it. I gotta live with it. That's fine. 100% fine. My opinion on it is garbage. Because again, to put it in baseball collecting terms, are you going to vote Acuna into the Hall of Fame? Are you going to vote Gleyber Torres into the Hall of Fame? Right now, if they're on the ballot, Fernando Tatis Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr., are you going to vote these guys into the Hall of Fame? Albies? No. You want a concentrated body of work over a number of years. I don't care how many bells and whistles, I don't care how much information. You gotta have a number of years in here. You can't just come on here and be a whiz at editing and work from home and have all this time to do this shit, which is great. You're giving the community information and knowledge, but I want depth. I want a number of years. I want stories to go with the cards, with the stories for the cards, and the stories for you. So the 1 year stuff, I shit on that, because that's just nothing I'm down for, and I never will be. Because people come and go. You got the people here that have been 8 to 12 years, and they're around for a reason. They A, love the hobby. They B, sure as fuck love the community with a lot of the ups and downs that have gone on in this community. A lot of you guys don't even have a fucking clue about half the drama that's transpired in this YouTube world. But I digress. I had the video a few ago that I fucking rambled on forever and a day. I had a little on the beginning of the box break, I think my last video. So I don't want to, Christ, I'm just boring you with talking, which I've done for about 10 years now, rolling up on 10 years. So this is in no particular order. First off, I'm going to go with like a veterans committee, couple people that don't make videos but are still around. One, Thundering 24, who I've seen mentioned by a few other old timers, as it were. Chad Caldwell, huge Griffey fan back in the day, even named his kid Griffey, one of his sons. Always, that was one of the guys that was always on there on YouTube, constantly just showing shit off, talking about life, everything. I don't think he's done anything in a number of years, so he'd be perfect for the Veterans Committee. And RBI Crew 7 in the breaking community, back when Ryan started, him and Neil, cannot forget the little pup Colt, who I think Ryan said a message about week and a half ago. He's about 10 years old now, so he's been on here as long as Ryan. They're just the bright-eyed kids wanting to one day own a card shop and give back to the community the way they saw fit, the way they should. The hobby should be portrayed, not as old curmudgeon-y guys hoarding away stuff and never either trading or selling or interacting with fellow collectors, always just sort of being there. I want the money. You've got the money. I really don't care what about building relationships, friendships, and stuff outside of cards. But they were about that. They built themselves up. They Florissant, Missouri, just, I want to say the northwest of St. Louis, a suburb. Just moved out of that shop into a new one in St. Peters? I don't know. It's a little west, not too terribly far. I think it's closer to where Ryan his home is actually at, but it's not out of the realm of that St. Louis suburb area. But again, those guys built themselves up the right way. And I mean, this is pre fucking Breakers TV, pre everybody's going on Instagram, pre everybody's going on Facebook Live. This was Blog TV, and they're selling shit. And I mean, they were still interacting as if they were your friend, because you know what? They were your friend. It wasn't always about, let's push the product, push the card. I mean, the cards talk for themselves. What the dealers normally don't do is talk for themselves to you. So I'd nominate either RBI Crew 7 or Thundering 24 as a couple pillars of this community from the land before time. So without further ado, I'm going to give you a list of genuine, nice guys that show generosity, and my list, it is what it is. Cliched, all that stuff, please don't use that anymore. Please. First, this film not yet rated, Michael Phillips. A wonderful human being, dedicated to Clay Matthews, dedicated to defensive Hall of Famers in the NFL. But that dedication led to him selling a lot of that collection to further fund Clay Matthews stuff, which I like. I like when people don't have the tremendously deep pockets where they can just shell out money. It's great for them. Hey, the dick measuring contest, whatever. If you've got the means to do so, hooray. I'm always in awe, sort of the, well, you gave up that, or you had to part with that? And it's like, well, yeah, I had to get this. I'm like, okay, it sucks that you had to lose that, but if you got that, okay, that's high five. Very nice. But I like that part of the hobby where people, they're going to be very attached to some cards, like I am to this one. But other cards you can flip if you can find something that you want or have yearned for. And Michael, again, great friend, somebody I'm in constant contact with. Um, Always look forward to seeing him because we can sit and bullshit about cards for days. We can bullshit about life, music, camping, whatever it is. Like Joey has said about his, that's one of my go-tos for pretty much anything, and we can go on rambling for hours. Next one up, coincidentally enough, Joey, Burkcat 8. Dedication, longevity, same with Michael, longevity. Bart Starr, Joey's one of the guys that I think was like I am with some of these pieces, and before you're thinking, I ain't ever gonna buy any of that stuff. That's not gonna be in my collection. If I get 20 Bart Star autos, I'm gonna be happy. 30 Bart Stars, I'm gonna be ecstatic. He's pushing 100, and I believe 100 different. And I think his last number was 94. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joey. But dedication, perseverance. The silver spoon was not in his mouth when he was born. That doesn't make him a bad guy. That makes him a life-tested veteran, a great guy, a guy I cannot wait to meet because of his humility, his humbleness, just everything. Joey is collecting personified, in my opinion. It's like a jovial kid, a childlike, inquisitive nature, which I love. When he gets rocking and rolling with questions, I love it, because he's always said, I'm gonna be a handful when you meet me. It's and not in that way. I mean, I know what you're thinking, like wieners and sausages and stuff like that. Bratwurst. He likes Wisconsin. But he says his personality, it can be a kind of off-putting. I'm like, no, the off-putting personalities are the people that raise their noses in the air. If you're excited about cards, fuck, that's gonna bubble around whoever you're with, and you get that excitement with them. So, Joey, love you, love you, love you. Brad, 86, 71. Football knowledge, second to none. One of my patch brothers, I'll call him, that he loves a filthy patch. I like finding him stuff, because when he becomes Bradley Claus, the care packages are the most epic because they're actually well thought out packages, not just of high dollar value. It's something that he knows you're gonna fucking love, and he takes the time to find it. Now, he might have a fucking golden horseshoe embedded in his ass when it comes to breaks, but hey, good. That can lead him to flip those cards if he doesn't want them to stuff he wants, like another Marino patch auto, Mark Clayton or Mark Duper auto patches, some Columbus Blue Jacket stuff, maybe a Rick Nash 101. But Brad is knowledgeable, well-spoken, incredibly intelligent when it comes to football, and the box breaking, group breaks, I can't even think of how I'd word it, which is shocking. The acumen he has for picking teams at a correct price point, or he's not overpaying, but he's taking a risk, but not the, like, buying Cleveland in 2018 because I got Baker, so you're paying $200 a box or a case for that, just the chance to hit a Baker. No, he's going for the Raiders. Boom, he hits like a Ken Stabler cut auto, and so it's like, oh, shit, you did all right. Brad, Hall of Famer, 8671. Tom, Hudson Fan 15. He gets to be like me at times, which is, I love long videos. I don't like 4 or 5 minute videos. I don't care about them. Those are boring. Stories with cards. That's what a lot of these guys are going to have to everybody I've named, and I believe everybody I'll continue to name has a story with cards, and that's what I look for. If you're just showing me a card because you got it for cheap price, that's great. Tell me about that journey to that card. Say, shit, this Kobe Bryant gold finest refractor from his rookie year, I've been looking for this for 20 years. I couldn't find it. I went to a show, boom, and give me 8 minutes of a story. 6 minutes. I don't care. Just give me a story. Tom is that way with Hudson. Tim Hudson. Another one that gets into group breaks a lot. Used to always be just a Colts guy. I know that's what he collects. Now he started branching out into some of the Brad 8671 philosophy, trying to get the best bang for your buck with the possibility to get a big hit. Flip that. He just got I think a Josh Jacobs Contenders 101 auto, like the rookie ticket variation. I don't even know what the hell they call it now because Panini bungled that up so badly. But Tom, knowledgeable, dedicated, loves music. Johnny Bench loves music too. And he's true to his bands. He's true to everything. It's not, and nothing with Tom is ever fake. And that's what you're going to find with a lot of these guys. There's no bullshit. There's no, I need to be popular and I'm going to sway my opinion because of something. It's, I'm staying in my belief lane and that's where I'm going to be. So Tom, love you. Hudson Fan 15, Hall of Fame. Steve, Purple GT 22. Another fella that's experienced some downs off the collecting field this year, but he perseveres. The struggle is real, but he perseveres. Wrestling guy, Falcons, meh. Braves, ugh. But a fellow Amish mafia member. He's been around for a long time. And again, he transcends the community. He seems to be one of the guys that goes from group to group and is well loved by everybody. And that's always a plus when you get the in, and then you can just be friends with everybody instead of sort of sitting in the corner like I do. I like to sit because I'm fat. But Steve, knowledgeable and a lot of the TTM stuff too. He does that, perseveres over a lot of adversity, longevity. Again, 8-9 years I think on the old tube, and a pretty fucking kick-ass collection. And he loves wrestling. Purple GT needs to get his ass in. Here's my one caveat for the super lengthy ones, and I think Scott's been on here for a while. But Scotty Tradition, Scott. I came across his channel, I want to say, would it have been 18? Yeah, it could have been last year. I think it was 18, right around Christmas time. Well, that's very simple. Huge collection of mega cards. I mean, maybe not overall in the grand scope of the community, but there's some monsters in there. In his graded collection, his registries, which, again, I'm not a huge fan of, but I get the chase. I get the chase of trying to get something that's, you want to be on the top of that mountain. So you want to try to get the PSA 10s. I love the Packers registry. That's the one that, especially when he starts pulling some of that stuff of the 80s. Those are the Packers I remember when they were piss poor brutal. Need to get a PSA 10 Magic Man out of score there, Scott. Family Guy. See his kids open on TV with him, just really quiet, really reserved, really mellow. Love the background music 98% of the time. Spotted Cow, delicious beer. So, and again, when he's mellow and chill, that's usually opposite of me. So, oil and water. But Scott, Scotty Tradition, get him in there this year. He's got to be a cinch. Another one, Den 1013. Doesn't make as many videos as he used to. Love him like a brother. We follow wrestling hardcore. He loves hockey probably more than anything else. There's Islanders. Susie, his wife, loves the Bruins. Denny, another Amish Mafia guy. One of the most generous, kind, caring, well respected by everybody that knows him. You don't hear people ever saying a bad word ever about Denny, because he is a good-souled man. Not like your feet souled, but like the soul inside of him. A kind heart. Loves animals, loves dogs. So, somebody that did breaks for us back in the day. Cheap breaks, cheap value breaks where everybody can get in. Just a sense of community when he held those breaks. It wasn't like, oh, break time, and then as soon as the break ended, he'd shut it off. It was, we'd be talking for another half hour to hour, depending on what time everything got done. And I mean, he didn't have to stay on. He could just be like, fuck you guys, I'm done. No, every time. Comments on a lot of guys' stuff still, which is huge, even though he hasn't really been super active. I know he's put some stuff out in the last year, so I'm happy for that. Because I like to see these guys active. I know life gets in the fucking way. I know it does. At the same time, you can plop up a video if you want. And that's where I don't mind the 2-3 minute videos. Just let us know you're alive. Some of you old timers that are out there. GSN Cards Nick. Another guy that was a breaker, not a vote. And he'd pick up stuff too. He finally responded to something on mine the other day. I'm super stoked because I love Nick. He's another guy that nobody's mentioned, I believe. Again, head on back 8-9 years. Watch some of those breaks. Some of that stuff that was on blog that I don't think is anywhere to be found in the interwebs. Oh my god. Hilarious. Hilarious stuff that I still remember to this day. When he'd be breaking 2008 football products, and he would get and it'd just be like, whatever, he'd pick, I don't know, he'd pick out of a hat who it was. I mean, he'd do the randomizer, everybody's name would pop up, and then just start picking names out of the hat. I think for about 4 breaks in a row to 08 football, he got the Falcons. At that time, Matt Ryan was white hot, so every time, you could see he didn't want it, but it's like, fuck, I pulled him. And it's like the first time, oh wow, that's crazy. The next time, oh, you gotta fucking be kidding me. But I mean, moments like that are 8 to 10 years old that I still remember, that are so inconsequential, but because of the people that you were with and around, again, that made it just a wonderful time. And that's how we built the community back then. Next up, I'm starting to run out of breath. Tim Mauzy, Mauzy. Another guy that's like me, all over the place collecting NASCAR diecasts, wrestling. Lots of wrestling from him. He'll either go to events or pick up a lot of cards. I don't know if they get the flea markets out that way or what, but he does a lot of acquisitions. He gets some wax and he'll bust some old wax. Some new stuff. Just, I mean, whatever it is. Sports, you'll go pick up baseball, football, some basketball, some hockey. Just picks up everything. He's got that southern drawl. He's out in West Virginia. So he's got some of that southern slang to him. So, very easy listening. Very generous. He's sent me a couple things. Doesn't need to. Nobody ever needs to. I've always stressed that. I don't expect it. I don't care. That I'm here for friendships, but they somehow find my goddamn address and send shit. But it's always something thoughtful, something meaningful, something he knows I would enjoy. So, again, very happy to induct him because he's been around for, I think, about as long as I have, maybe a year or so less, but he's been around forever. And again, a guy I've always supported, always try to comment on his stuff. So, get him in. Where am I at? I got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's number 9. Zepho TBS. That's what his FKA. Now he goes by Ghost of Zepho, Alan. Another cat that's been around forever. 8, 10 years maybe longer. Incredibly generous. Knowledgeable, super knowledgeable about the 90s stuff. We've had a few conversations on the phone where it's like, oh, we're going to talk for a few minutes. Fuck, it's been a couple hours later. Shocking. I talk a lot. Shocking, I know. Big Juan Gonzalez guy. He picks up a lot of the blasters and stuff and just the speculative ripping, which is always fun. That's what I consider myself doing with all my crap. It's a speculative rip. You pull something good. Great. Try to grade it or try to flip it. Do one or the other, but it's never anything big for something else. It's not like I'm buying Immaculate and trying to pull a Mahomes rookie or Sapphire edition trying to pull like an Acuna autograph or whoever's in there. I'm just trying to get stuff that I think he'll have a chance to grow. That's what Alan does too when he busts. Loves fishing, great family man, dedicated hard worker, longevity, knowledge, longevity, wonderful human. Last one, Micah, Dystemic. Everybody looks, and Tom mentioned a lot of these things in his Hudson in his video. But everybody looks for the hits, the big money. Sure, Micah wants Puckett autos. Sure, Micah wants Killebrew autos. Sure, Micah wants some Royce Lewis stuff. But his end game is trying to get as many different and unique Twins cards as possible to get into his collection. I know he's somewhere over 5,000, and I know he's got well more than 5,000, but his number of unique Twins cards is well over 5,000. Total's probably 12, 15. I don't know. He's got a ton. Another guy that's into wrestling. I've met up with Mike a couple times. I know at some point we need to do it again, but these goddamn shows are in the middle of winter, Mike. I'm not driving to North Dakota in the shitty winter. You know how it's like after Bemidji to Fargo. I'm not going to drive. Get stuck in the ditch and my cards will get ruined and I'll get killed. But big wrestling fan. We're always texting wrestling. He's always texting. I try to get back. I'm more sparse than I should be. That's on me. I always blame myself. But dedicated to the Minnesota Twins, dedicated to the Minnesota Vikings, gets into some breaks, helps out at the card shops over there. I was at, I think there's one in the basement of a mall. I don't know if that one's around. And then I think there's another one that just started up within the last year or two that he's been helping out quite a bit over there. He's got a lot of knowledge. Again, he's been making videos, I believe, longer than I have. I'm fairly certain of that. I think he's been around since like late 08, early 09, maybe even mid 08. But yeah, he's been around for a while. So again, I know Dustin and Blake have been getting love, rightfully so. And I know Mike and him are friends, so, or at least they talk. I don't know if Minnesota Twins fans can be friends, but he's always looking for, I know, Puckett. Of course, that's the big one. But he's also looking for those Leaf Memories cards when they came out with like the 90, 91 Leaf reprints. You got any of those 101s, those low number ones? Hit Micah up. And I'm sure he'll make it worth your while. He's a big, big fan of that 91 team. So, Twins cards, you got them. Send them to Micah. Let's get him over 10,000 unique Twins cards. I'm going to honorable mention now. Not that anybody wants to hear me talk anymore, but I'm over 30 and I haven't been over 30 in fucking forever. Here's some other guys you need to check out. Some don't make a lot of videos, some don't make any anymore. Some do. Check them out. Just get some new people who have been here for a long time on your radar. Cards Infinity. Chris Justice. He's been on here forever. That's the breaker like Tom said too. That's the guy who I found on here and I said, what the hell's this? Tattoo, when he's starting to pull some heat out of 07, and the dude that collected Johnny Lee Higgins in that same draft. Insane stuff to go back and look at some of these things that were pulled. J.W. Smitty, Drunk Trojan, the Broncos 79. He's going to get in this year, but Bobby Lewis, love you. Scoth, 2244. Sichtifer, 2024. Wenzel, 888. Jericho, 941. IMI. Michael Shane, love you. Look on the left. Ace X Deuce, 90. Tommy Boy. Make some more videos. Don't be hungover, though. Trying to think who else I've missed. There's so many guys that have been here through the years. Dave's Midlife Card Crisis. Give him a look up. He's a great guy, too. Looks like B-Roth 6 will get in. He's been around a while. I enjoy him a lot. Herd Fan 87. I was going to vote for you, Matt, but then I looked and you deleted all your goddamn videos. Oh, horrendous. And then Card Cave Central. It used to be All-Star Jersey Shop. Manny. Love Manny. Love. He's sent tons of stuff. He does a lot of breaks on Facebook. Get in his Facebook page. Super kind. Another one that loves wrestling. And not just stuff of today. All the guys I said love wrestling. We're 80s wrestling fans, first and foremost. All these guys are super talented in their own ways. Super dedicated. A lot of them I miss dearly. We still keep in some contact, but again, it's not like it used to be. You'd have 2 videos a week, at least from a lot of these guys. Blog TV, every night somebody would be hosting. When we say community, it was a completely different community. Half the time I feel bad for a lot of the folks that don't seem to be community members, that want to toot their own horn. I like the YouTube live every so often, but you go on blog at probably 6 o'clock Central, so 7 Eastern, somebody'd already be on there either breaking or just BSing for like an hour. Then somebody else would go on. Everybody go there. It'd just be jumping and it'd be rotating through the week. And I mean, I miss that so much because it was such a great way to build up the community. You had drama, but you also built everything up too. So, and there's a lot of guys that are still super close, and that's 10 years. And then this hobby, to be close after 10 years, that's insanity. So, Mike, thank you for the contest. Don't mind my rambling. You know, I'll fucking just pipe off at all times. If you made it this far, be Barry Horowitz. Give yourself the pat on the back. Take her easy, YouTube. And if she's easy, take her twice.